TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the February 4th, the terrific Tuesday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Now, let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Now, the easiest way to do that, well, it's to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 8 o'clock in the morning. Don't worry, I'll spit it out there. That's right. So if you are listening live at the normal time frame, thanks so much for doing that. We'll make this show pertinent. Of course, if you're listening between 8 and 9 a.m., I would love to hear from you. You can send me an email. Send that out to Steve at TFNN.com. Inside the subject heading, placement radio show question, I'll be happy to get to your question. And, of course, if you're inside the Tiger's Den, well, any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Terrific Tuesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. We've got a mixed bag. We take a look at equity futures. You have the S&P futures up 4 points, NASDAQ's up 50, Dow's down 61, and the E-mini Russell is up 3 points. The spot VIX index is trading above its 50-day exponential moving average, so that provides sellers with a bit of an edge out there. Over in China last night, you had the Shanghai that is still closed for the New Year holiday. Hang Seng, though, opened up with a flurry of 572 points. It triggered an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. It's got more room to run to the upside. The Nikkei, just in a nice consolidation pattern, even up 278 points. Been trading a large consolidation. I'm not showing that pattern at the moment on my screen or anything, but just to share with you, I mean, I know what it's doing. Just a consolidating pattern. The FTSE and the DAX. So the FTSE's off 5 points. The DAX up 32. Both of those triggered sell signals yesterday. So maybe we'll take a look at those charts out there. Just suggest concern with regard to those topping patterns. With regard to metals, they're trading a bit lower. Gold's off $5 right now. Silver down 11 pennies. Copper futures up 1 penny out there. What else do we see? The U.S. dollar index is trading lower by 427 ticks. We're going to take a look at the currencies. You've got the 30-year Treasury printing out at 113.23 out there. That's off 22 ticks as we speak. So let's the New York Stock Exchange, the Advanced Decline Oscillator. Let's put that up on our screen here. So we had talked about how this had shown a divergent pattern. A divergent pattern meaning that we had price that was moving higher with an advanced decline oscillator that was moving lower. And that typically leads us to lower price. Sometimes it can lead to significantly lower price. Sometimes it's just more of your normal natural correction moving from an overbought territory, perhaps even into oversold. And yesterday, the advanced decline oscillator, that's the difference between the 19 and 39 period exponential moving average. Panel number 2 is that advanced decline line out there. You can see we're off of the all-time high out there. That took place back in November of 2024. We're not that far really off of it. But yesterday's price action took that advanced decline oscillator below zero. If we close below zero again, that will tell us that it is sellers that have the edge here. And that combined with the spot VIX index, which is trading above its 50-day. The 50-day is at 1672. The spot VIX is trading at 1798 as we speak right now. So those are conditions for the markets to move lower out here. What else do I need to show you on this set of charts? Well, take a look at how markets are actually, whoops, that wasn't it, but this will be it. Take a look at how markets are trading around the globe. So here, what we're looking at is the upper left-hand panel is taking a look at the U.S. is looking at the U.S. dollar index and the primary currency pairs. Not each of them may make up the U.S. dollar index, but the euros, yens, pounds, Aussie dollars, and yuan. And so we can take a look at all of these instruments or any of these instruments in those currencies. So so let's take a look. We discuss, or I certainly share with you, global capital flows. So as I mentioned, you've got the ES Index trading up right now. You can see it's up 6 points out there. Is the move real? Even though I've shared with you the spot fix is above the 50, which it is, 50-day exponential moving average, and that advanced climb oscillator dipped below the zero threshold level. What we can see here is that the rally is real. What I mean is the ES Mini is moving higher in all of the major currencies. Up by 14 points in terms of euros, 3,800 points in terms of yen, 16 points in pounds, 29 Aussie dollars, and in the Chinese yuan, it's up 36 points out there. Whereas if you look at gold, we've got a mixed bag out there. It's moving lower in terms of U.S. dollars and euros just slightly, but we're up in terms of Great British pound, Aussie dollars out there, and we're lower in terms of Chinese yuan. So there you've got a mixed bag. There you can see the fight between the bulls and the bears out there. If you take a look at light sweet crude is trading lower in all the major currencies. Light sweet crude is likely going to negate a TD9 count bottom pattern today. So that move to the downside is real. It's confirmed. It's being traded lower on everybody's screens out there, or let's say the primary screens of traders representing those countries out there. The same thing with regard to the 30-year Treasury out there. So that kind of gives you a feel for what's going on inside the markets. And so speaking of that, let's try to take a little bit deeper dive. Actually, why don't we begin here with my 9-panel market update chart, but the one coming from my white background screen. So here, with regard to the ES Mini, what you can see in the upper left is that we are consolidating with inside its bullish structured profile. So support, which was hit yesterday, down at 59.36, resistance up at 61.62. So just a good old-fashioned consolidation with inside profile. If we take a look at the NQ, we've got the same pattern out here. Yesterday, price rallying right up into its sell zone, and that sell zone has held. Now, if price were able to close above the sell zone and its green oscillator and change line, 21,583, that would definitely indicate that we should see a further rally out there. Dow is testing the bottom of its daily profile. That's a key area out there. That's down at 44,374. If price were to close below that, it opens up the door for a potential move to 42,752 out there. A high-grade copper, just a consolidation with inside its profile. Gold, it needs a bearish reversal candle to generate a sell the D point top out there. Short of that, gold should rally further. Remember, we looked at gold, and it was rallying in all currencies out there. Silver needs a bearish reversal candle to generate a sell the D point top out there. Yesterday's body of the candle was so small, basically a doji style candle, so it'd be very easy to generate a bearish reversal candle today. Light sweet crude, as we had mentioned, we were looking at it, was trading lower in all major currencies out there. If it closes below the bottom of its TD9 count pattern, it's trading below it right now, it being 71.94, that'll open up the door for a move to 68.94. That's its TD9 count breakout level. TD9 count bottom inside natural gas. If we were to see it close below 2.990, we'd see it move to 2.745. But right now, we just have a good old-fashioned consolidation. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstad's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. We got Dow Equity Futures trading now at 64. The Russell's up 2. NASDAQ's up 68. The ES Mini is up 6 points out here as we speak. The XLE, the energy sector, is going to go ahead and complete a TD9 count bottom pattern today. We were looking at light sweet crude before we went to break out there, and is threatening to break its TD9 count pattern. So, we know there's a good directional correlation between light sweet crude and the energy sector out there. So keep your eye on both of those instruments here in a case of a rally, which likely would start, I would say, today or tomorrow morning inside the XLE with light sweet crude trading lower, would take us up. The first level would be between 89.19 and 89.79 out there. You can see the 30-minute time frame chart as it was forming the TD9 count pattern yesterday, gave the first bullish signal that the bottom is trying to form out there. Gave that Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom signal. Let's actually see where the XLE is trading. Now, I can get that on my other screen here. If you give me just a moment, we'll see where the XLE is actually trading at this morning. That's at the 8.19 if you're listening at the 11.19. So its last trade fired off at 87.86 out there. So it is trading, and it's trading below, no, not trading yet below yesterday's low out there, 87.74. So it is trading a bit lower, but hasn't taken out yesterday's lows out there. I don't see anything else here right now for us to take a look at. Here, what I'm referring to is this is the setup that I created in similar but not similar to my e-signal system, the black background screen. So it's 8.19, and you can see I can fluctuate between the two of them right now without the markets actually being open. And of course, during the 11 o'clock show, it just hasn't. It just doesn't work out that way at this moment in time. But I don't have all my charts open on the white background screens as we speak. But so I can fluctuate back and forth. So with regard to the so what I've also included in this list of items to keep track of what's going on out here, whether it's futures or indices right now, which obviously are not trading, is is I've included the TD9 counts out here, just simply so it provides us with the ability to easily click on something and understand whether it's, and this is for the daily time frame, whether it's forming a bottom or not out there. So let's just take a peek at currencies out here. Let's see what's going on with the currency pairs that make up, or three of the currency pairs that make up the U.S. dollar index, the euro, which has a TD9 count top. We can see that price pulled back, tested and rejected its swing point. The swing point that I'm referring to was January 13th out there. But price did find resistance at its oscillator and change line. So if it's able to take out the lows, which I think over time it's going to, that is the euro out there. And the lows I'm referring to are 1.0177. Well, we'll see a move lower. Now, we know that 1.0530, that is the TD9 count breakdown resistance level. That's that solid green line. That's where the TD9 count pattern formed just below that level. That's a key area of resistance out there. So if that level were ever to fail, the euro would be getting stronger, the dollar would be getting weaker out here. If we take a look at the Japanese yen, is trading in an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. You know, its rallies, for example, yesterday's rally found resistance at the at its oscillator and change line. So it looks more like this is going to move towards the 152 level. Now, on this chart here, as the yen moves lower, it's getting stronger. The dollar would be getting weaker. If we take a look at the Great British Pound, as a buy the D point bottom, yesterday price tested and rejected that oscillator and change line. So that's a signal that it wants to attempt to try to move higher out there. Could actually even form an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. Now it's trading a bit lower this morning, but it's above a resistance out there. So as long as it remains above 1.234, the red oscillator and change line, it's possible to see a further rally out there. And lastly, if we take a look at the March contract here for Bitcoin, yesterday finding support at the bottom of its profile, 95,791 that is, and this morning finding support at the top of its profile, which is at the 99,866 level. So you know where support is at. Resistance is that green oscillator and change line right now. That's at 105,208. So that's what's going on. We take a look at the currency pairs. Just going to go ahead and close that down for a moment. That'll get us back to our main screen out there. Let's take a look at, did I look at the daily equity future contracts with you? I don't believe we looked at this. So why don't we look at this? This is all for equity future contracts. So we sort of looked at it on the 9-panel update chart, but we didn't get to all 4. So here, if we take a look at the ES Mini, we know that the ES Mini yesterday was testing the swing point bottom low from January 27th. It's also testing its buy zone for its profile level. So those have held. So they've got this very wide consolidation inside its profile levels. Up at 61, 62 is the resistance level. In the case of the NQ, it was testing and it rejected the top of its swing point, that hammer candle from January 13th. Yesterday, of course, it found resistance this morning here at the oscillator and change line. So that's at 21,582-ish area. That's a key level of resistance right now. The case of the Dow Equity Future contract testing the bottom of its profile, that's at the 44,374 area. So that's something to be watching most certainly at 11:23. It's now 8:23 in the morning out there. But that level has held. And then finally in the Russell 2000, it tested and it rejected. It's a hammer candle. It's Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. It's wave number 7 bottom candle from January 13th. So it tested and rejected. And now it's just trading back inside its profile out there. So that's what's going on. We take a look at the daily equity future contracts. If we try to dive down just a tad, see what's going on inside the ES Mini. So here we've got the, let's just update this 10-minute time frame chart. Let me update a couple of these. I left them running while I was in makeup this morning. So just trying to see if there's any kind of topping signals out here on those intraday charts. And so if you look at the 10-minute time frame chart, I realize we're getting granular here, but on a 10-minute basis, we need to see a tick above. That is by 8:30. We need to see a tick above 60.3125. If we do get a tick above that, you'll have a TD9 count top on a 10-minute time frame, and price should pull back and test the 60.20 to 60.23 level. If that one doesn't form, we may get a 15-minute TD9 count top. We're in bar number 9 right now. This bar is going to complete at 8:30, but the next one 8:45 out there, and that would say if there's a tick above that 60, 31, 25 level. The 15-minute chart could form a TD9 count top. If that doesn't, it might be the 30-minute that goes off to form a TD9 count top. You're in bar number 7 right now. That's at 8:30. Remember, the high needs to form of the pattern on bars 8. Bars 9 or the bar following 9 out there. You're only in bar number 7 right now, so you have another hour and a half worth of potential signals to be looking at there. The real key resistance, though, to the upside. So right now we're looking at intraday charts in the ES mini that could be identifying short-term, at least short-term topping signals as we come in towards the morning open out here. The real key level of resistance on a rally, we did get a spot VIX index that did close above plus 10% yesterday, but with markets being up at highs, not at lows, that typical signal that we get that forms that bottom or bounce pattern on these intraday charts just never really formed out there. Didn't think that they would either. But the real key resistance on the ES mini, and you can see it here, it's on the 2-hour time frame chart, is that TD9 count top. That's at 60.69. If price were to close above 60.69, well, one, you'd get an A to B equals CD pattern on the 2-hour time frame chart, but that would tell you that you have a further rally. We come back to this break. Let's start looking at a couple requests that have come in. SIRI for Rose, FTAI for Hector, Palantir for just about everybody, and a number of others. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
back, folks. 8:30 a.m. on the East Coast. We are recording this show early today. If you're listening live at the 11:30 time slot, trying to make it as perfect as we can for you. Right now, we've got U.S. equity futures. They're mixed out here. You've got the ES minis up about 5. NASDAQ is up 52. The Dow futures are down 51. The E-mini Russell's up 2. Gold's up $7. Silver's up 9 pennies right now. Copper's up 1 cent. You've got the U.S. dollar index that is trading lower by at least 492 ticks. I've got a 10-minute delay on that. And let's just start taking a look at some requests that have come in. The first one we're going to look at is Siri. This is for Rose inside the Tiger's Den. SIRI is the ticker symbol. Well, that wasn't it. Let's actually try to get to the actual symbol. That would be nice. And here we go. So if we take a look at Siri, Siri closed above the top of its bearish structured daily profile yesterday. It did that 2 days ago as well. That's kind of weird. There we go. So you've got a profile change in trend signal out there. Its next level of resistance out here, Rose, is really going to be the bottom of its weekly profile. The weekly profile has a sell zone. It's a sell zone because it's an area where a counter trend move would come to an end if it is only a counter trend move. And I wish I knew the answer to that question. The first signal that it might not be a counter trend move for you, though, is the mere fact that the daily time frame now has a profile change in trend. But nonetheless, resistance is resistance, and the next area of resistance for you is going to be between 25.33 and 26.98. Now, if price is able to close above 26.98, then that would signal to us, certainly if it can do it for more than 2 weeks out there, that would then signal to us this is not a counter trend move. And then price would start to head towards 31.10, the top of its profile out there. Now, what you really like about Siri out here is you love the weekly Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. And you love that because you had a nice bullish hammer candle out there. That bullish hammer candle that formed on December 20th, 53 million shares. We had another bullish piercing candle that also formed out here back on January 17th, only about 20 million shares then. So we like that nice weekly bottom that goes along with the nice monthly Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom. Now, the key level here that you're watching for is going to be that red oscillator and change line. That's the first level, 25.53. But you can see above that at 27.83 rows is another area of resistance. I don't expect that profile to change. Pretty solid. You can keep that down on your pad of paper. And I think the weekly as well, at least at this moment in time, that 25.33 to 26.98 area out there. What else is it that we can glean from these charts here for Siri to help Rose out? I don't think there's anything else that I can, but you like the daily bottom, which is at least a profile change in trend. You wouldn't even have to see if there was an A to B equals CD bottom or anything along those lines. I see a wave number 7, but not sure that was really the bottom signal out there. So you've got the daily, the weekly, and a monthly out there. So I hope this works out really well for you, Rose. Thanks so much for that request out there. Hector and Patty are taking a look at FTAI. They wondered what's all the hoopla about with regard to this instrument, and I don't know the answer to that question. But what I can share with you is that a second close today above 103.84, and just like with Rose, you will have a profile change in trend. I don't see any other daily bottom signal out there, but that, in fact, would be a bottom signal. So if we get that, close above 103.84, then the next price target level, let's see here, let me populate this chart. The next price target area would appear to be about 120.78. And 120.78 happens to be the monthly oscillator and change line. Hector and Patty, as you know, that number is going to go up and down. That's just a number that it's printing at as we speak right now, but it becomes a price target-ish type area. Above 120.78, the next resistance area would be a sell zone, and that's a sell zone established by that weekly profile, and that would be between the range of 128.72 and 134.11. In other words, it's a sell zone where a counter trend rally would come to an end if that's all that this move is. Again, like with Rose, it may not be a counter trend move because if we get a second close above 103.84, well, the daily at least is on the move and on the march higher out there is really what we should say. So that's what I see, Hector and Patty. When I take a look at FTAI, weekly chart was a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. Daily chart was a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. Weekly chart was a sell the D point top out there. That took place a couple months ago. Now, the work to the downside for FTAI may be done. Maybe that's why it's showing up on the screens of a number of different folks that you've read. when you form a top, which in this case here on the monthly chart was a sell the D point top out there, all it does is say, hey, I want to go test support. Maybe I can bust through support, but at minimum get down and test support. And that was a buy zone on that monthly time frame, and that work was accomplished last month. So the odds of this rallying further at this moment in time seem to be pretty good. Couldn't bust them to the downside, so now it's going to try to at least rally into resistance levels out there, 120.78 being that next spot. So hope that helps you out, Hector and Patty. As always, thanks so much for being the early bird there on the West Coast out there. That's catching the early Stevie signal. Palantir out here. Palantir trading at $100 or so, at least last time that I checked. What's Palantir going to do? It's going to negate a TD9 count top that formed 2 days ago. It's going to negate it in one single, basically in two sessions out there. That tells us about a very strong upward momentum move. In the case of the weekly time frame chart, it has a wave number 7 top. It's likely going to take that out. In order to do that, on Friday, it needs a close above 84.80 out there. And on the monthly time frame chart, no topping pattern or signal at all. So where is Palantir headed to? And that's really a great question out there. So how would we really make that determination? Let's come back and take a look at the, you don't see an A to B equals CD pattern on the monthly time frame chart, but certainly we can pick something up here on the daily time frame chart. The question is, where do you want to really start? Let me come back to the weekly. Let's come back to the weekly chart for Palantir. Maybe it's pretty clear out there with regard to where we'd start. I would start right here. And that is on the trading week of August the 9th. It's not that you can't start lower out there, which we can, but to me, that's the clear A to B equals CD pattern. If we draw in just the A to B line, now this is the conservative one that I'm drawing in here, and we just simply move that over to the C point. This is a weekly time frame chart that we're looking at. The C point being the low from about 4 weeks ago out there. And I don't think I get right to it, but I get pretty close. So that gives you an A to B equals CD pattern that would get you up into the 126 level. Rahul was asking, where is the sell? I'm not even saying that's the sell. I'm just providing you with a projection level from the weekly time frame chart for Palantir out there, because the only other way to do it would be to use an expansion of its monthly swing points. That would be the swing point high from back here in January of 2021 down to the low that formed in Palantir back in 2023 out there. So you could do a Fibonacci expansion as well. But the point is, there's no daily, there's no weekly. It's going to be vanished today unless it just simply is an exhaustion move and a pop and a drop out there, but I don't think that that's the case. So I would say Palantir is on its way further north out there. So we come back from this break. Let's take a look at ACHR. I'll get these charts set up, I think, so far. Microsoft, Netflix, Tesla, and UAVS for Dan inside the Tiger's Den. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We got U.S. equity futures. They're mixed right now. It's 8:42 if you're listening at the normal time slot. You've got the ES Mini up about 2 points. NASDAQ's up 34. Dow futures down 90. And Russell futures are flat. You've got gold that's up $7. Silver's up 12 pennies out there. With regard to gold, the only concern I have with gold right now, I mean, it looks like it's in, good breakout mode. We're trading at new all-time highs for gold in terms of U.S. dollars. As we speak right now, we're doing the same thing in terms of Japanese yen, in terms of Great British pounds, getting pretty close in terms of the Chinese yuan. We are in Aussie dollars. So all those are bullish things out there. But I've got these little rising price channels. In other words, prices up towards a resistance zone in many of these out there. So for my eyes, we need to see these levels really get taken out to confirm that we're in the next move to the upside with regard to gold. So Stevie is just saying a caution at this moment in time. If we're looking for some short-term levels to be watching today, I would say you could use the Perigee pivot point inside the ES Mini. That's at the 59.82 level. Inside the NQ, you're 21,200. We are trading above those levels right now. The Dow is in essence testing it. Perigee for it is at the 44,449 area. Goldilocks is at 28.46. Silver, we're trading above again as well here. These are bullish signals, 32.46 out there. So that's some additional data that I can provide for you. Let's get back to the request. Next request coming in is ACHR. So ACHR in a daily time frame is trading below its oscillator and change line and the bottom of its daily profile. Likely to head lower. It has a swing point that it traded into, and in fact, it closed inside yesterday. That's from January 14th. There was 27 million shares that day. Yesterday, no, I'm sorry, test and rejected it yesterday with 23 million shares. Well, that's a test and rejection of a swing point. That would suggest it would rally up towards the 979, 988 level. That's the resistance area. On a weekly time frame, nice Rhodes momentum indicator top with price testing and so far holding that oscillator and change line. On Friday, you want to see another move or another close above that oscillator and change line, currently printed at 913. And finally, on the monthly time frame chart, which last month formed a sell the D point top, it would suggest a pullback towards 749. So we got conflicting messages out here. The daily time frame may just be a rally into resistance out there with that test and rejection of the top of the swing point. The weekly is probably just relying on the daily out there So it's going to be the end of the week signal. If price, though, is above that green oscillator and change line on the weekly time frame, audio is gone. Oh, geez, I don't know why. But it is what it is. Audio is definitely gone. Okay. So no reason. Back. Cutting out again. Yikes. Don't know why it is doing that. And it's actually not how I'm speaking. So back to ACHR out there. Looks like a daily rally. And a monthly says longer term this thing wants to pull back towards 749. So that's what we see. We take a look at ACHR. The next request was to take a look at Microsoft MSFT. So let's see what this thing is doing out here. Trading there closed at 410 yesterday. So it actually is traded right into its buy zone. And the buy zone on the weekly time frame is between 408.86 and 415.45, 408.86. I am curious, where is Microsoft trading at this moment in time? So if you give me a moment, I'll get back to a screen where we can find that out instantly. MSFT, last trade here, firing off at 411 and change, 411.87. So that is going to, well, that stays within the profile. So we're looking at the weekly time frame that we have out here. So you can see it at a TD9 count top and Rhodes momentum indicator top way back in July. Price pulls back, tests its breakout level, 404.51 out there. So that is held. That's your downside, your real key level of support. But you have a secondary level of support, I would say, which is the buy zone of that profile between 408 and 415 out there. Daily time frame. So in the case of the daily time frame, it closed below a swing point that may have triggered an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. So it's a swing point from January 14th, 16.9 million shares. Yesterday, closed below with 25 million shares. That's an actual A to B equals CD pattern to the downside that was confirmed yesterday out here. Let's take a look at where that is suggesting price would head to. I don't think substantially lower out there, but let's copy and let's paste. And let's move that over there. So that would give you an A to B equals CD price projection, a 1-to-1 level that would take you to 402.50. However, I would hearken to say, and I don't hearken to say too often out there, but I would hearken to say that this would be more than a 1-to-1 A to B equals CD pattern. The reason being, prices along the left side of that C to D leg on the way down out there. Nonetheless, that gets us into the 402 level, so that 404.51 would be the area to be watching to the downside. But you are rallying this morning as we had identified out there. But you did get a confirmed A to B equals CD pattern to the downside inside of Microsoft, and that was yesterday. Let's go take a look at Netflix, see what Netflix is doing out here. NFLX. She's trading out, or closed, I should say, at 978.94. It closed inside of its profile, daily profile. The day before was a bearish shooting star candle. So that generated a Rhodes momentum indicator top out there. But in order for this to get any traction to the downside, you need to see a close below 931.56. If you did that, you'd be inside its gap, and that would then suggest at least a test of the gap. And that's really at the high of the session from January 21st. That's at 916.40. Out here. So you do have a daily Rhodes momentum indicator top, but it's really kind of neutral. We're inside the profile, but we're above that green oscillator and change line. The weekly time frame chart 2 weeks ago netted negated a TD9 count top. So Netflix on a weekly time frame is saying, I want higher price. And that's really the same signal coming from the monthly time frame. No topping pattern, price well above that green oscillator and change line. Strong momentum to the upside on the daily. On the weekly and the monthly, it's a daily that is a little bugger out there, but a close above 9.99, even Steven, that's going to get you to higher price. So that's what's going on. We take a look at Netflix. Let's go figure out what's going on in the case of Tesla. Tesla, yesterday closing below the bottom of its daily profile, 389.29. That would suggest you run to 348.20. Out of curiosity, where is Tesla trading as we speak right now? Let's go find out. We'll have that up here momentarily. TSLA, last trade here fired up at 387.50. Let's go figure out where 387.50 takes us to. It still is below the bottom of that daily profile at 389.29. And as long as Tesla remains below the bottom of that profile, that would suggest a move to 348.20. Now, if price were to close below the session low from January 2nd, and that low is 373.04, and do it with 109 million shares or more. Well, whether it closes, what it does with volume or not doesn't necessarily matter. The first thing is, does it close below 373.04? If it does, that'll trigger an A to B equals CD pattern to the downside, knowing that you still have support at 348.20. The weekly time frame chart, its support has a buy zone between 327 and 345 out there. And that's what's going on when we take a look at TSLA. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Welcome back, folks. We're going grouper fishing this morning. We're looking at ticker symbol UAVS, looking for a bottom here. Dana inside the Tiger's Den accurately identified that on a daily time frame, this triggered wave number 7 yesterday. That is letter G that is on my screen out there. That pattern would be confirmed with a higher low out there. Yesterday's low was the price point of 215. If today low is 216 or above, you'll have a 7th wave bottom signal out there. You do have profile levels, so let me give those to you. You've got profile, the bottom of the profile is 227. The center's at 262. and the top is at 297. That's on the daily time frame. On a weekly time frame, you actually have a TD9 count bottom pattern that's already in play out here. That's one that formed on October 25th back in 2024. You've got a monthly TD9 count also in October of 2024 out there. The low on those is $1.54. It would need a close below $1.54 to negate those signals out there. So you would have bottoming patterns for all three time frames out there. So best of luck on that big grouper that you are trying to catch out there. Let's take a quick peek here before we go off the air, see what's going on inside the equity futures out here. So we never got those TD9 count tops on those intraday charts. What we can share with you at this moment in time here, before we pass the show over to Tommy, is we've got profile support about 60.19. So about 60.19, if price were to close below that, I'd watch 6,009. And below 6,009, well, I might have my eyes glued towards the 59.50 level out there. That's what's going on inside the ES Mini. Did I leave those other charts up? I did. Quick peek here at this 9-panel set of screens. Again, we've got the Lightspeed crude, very likely going to negate its TD9 count bottom pattern today out there. You do have a TD9 count bottom inside of natural gas, with price consolidating with inside its profiles. Folks, thanks so much for joining me early this morning. I'll be back to normal programming hours tomorrow, 11 a.m. sharp. Have a terrific Tuesday, and I'll see you on wonderful Wednesday. Take care and be safe out there.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, reversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs, trade wars, analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento for the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The events for this month are February 14th and 21st, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
This is TFNN, the Tiger Financial News Network. TFNN. Headline News Update.
Welcome, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the 4 p.m. Stock Market Update right here on TFNN. We got Palantir earnings right after the close here. You got the SPX. If I can get my mouse over here, trading off about 0.76%. So we did crack down at the end of the day there. Okay. Composite off about 1.20, 19,391. Dow Jones Industrial off about 0.27% at 44,422. And then that Russell off about 1.19. Man, what happened? We were trading at 6,003. Definitely some sell-off right at the end of the day there. Got to take a look at that. Fletch in the Den also shared a tweet, I think, for someone, and they were talking about what's going to be in the Strategic Wealth Fund, the Sovereign Wealth Fund. Man, yeah, wow, what a little collapse there at the end. And moving lower as well. I hope my Palantir leverage long doesn't get messed up on that. I think the tweet said, from Fletch, if I'm correct, is the Strategic Wealth Fund going to be stuffed with long-dated U.S. Treasuries? And then it says strategic QE. I mean, you know, the Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund is totally packed with those. And that's interesting. I think what you're going to be seeing a lot of is different ways to get capital injected into the market, right? That's not going to be necessarily, you know, the Fed borrowing and stuff like that, right? Because you're going to get that shrinking of that balance sheet. Another thing I could see as well, you can look up the balance sheet of the United States. It's kind of crazy that, I mean, of course you could, but it's just very interesting that we have it. We have a ton of land, and I'm sure that can be deployed in some capacity, maybe for, you know, mineral extraction or other resource extraction like natural gas or oil or something like that. Now, that has its own kind of issues with it, right? Like we were talking about Alaska potentially being used for drilling oil. Well, it costs so much to kind of pull that oil out, and it's, you know, probably will not happen, right? So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Additionally, you have the Treasury directing the Fed to revalue gold. I think it's at $42 right now on their balance sheet, and it's not really clear what they would value it at. I'm assuming it would be below the going price, the COMEX price, but that is designed as well to generate more capital, right? As opposed to just keeping blowing up the debt. So I don't know. Interesting kind of stuff going on. A lot of interesting stuff going on, to be honest. I think I'm still kind of digesting all of it, and I'm sure everyone else is too. Good luck if you're in Palantir. We're going to make it, everyone. Folks, otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. for Tommy O'Brien in the morning market kickoff. Take care.